We're Laura and Cindy, and you're listening to the Holistic Horsemanship and Husbandry podcast, where we talk about natural horsekeeping and deepening your connection with your horse. I'm Laura, your horse care mentor. I teach natural horse management practices after working with over 200 horses and seeing how current industry standards are compromising the health of the horse.
And I'm Cindy, your horsemanship mentor, offering a proven and unique approach to creating deep connections with your horses from 20 plus years of experience, including working with wild Mustangs. If you enjoy this conversation, please leave us a 5-star review wherever you're listening to us so we can get this podcast into the ears of more passionate horse people. Today's episode is going to be looking at horses from the space of them being our teachers and our mirrors. You know, we're so used to having them be our, for Laura and us, Laura and I believe all of you who follow us, you know, they're more our partners, and we have a relationship that's deeper with them than the average, say, horse people. But what I do often is equine facilitated coaching. And I also, my horsemanship program, my clients are being coached personally as much as they are their ability to work with the horse and understand and ride and be safe and, you know, take good care of them. So I'm going to share what I'm going through personally in my life right now. And we're not going to deep dive into a lot of the personal stuff, but I'm going through a huge transition, as well as my entire herd, which is 11 of them. And Chief and Saturday are two semi-wild Mustangs that I have. Chief is more wild than Saturday. And the reason I say they're semi-wild is because they've been living for the last 11 years in a 2-acre pasture. And they approach me, they're comfortable with me moving around them. I can touch Saturday pretty much all over her body except for pick up her feet and come near her with a rope. And Chief, I can pat almost all over his body. There's some areas that he still squiggles away from. And oddly enough, I can pick up all 4 of his feet. So it would be interesting to have Laura's take on why is that, if she could even think about why that might be. But I'm anxious to get her out there to trim his feet because he's currently in a rip-roaring case of laminitis and probably sadly is an EMS, equine metabolic syndrome horse, which means he's got equine diabetes or teetering towards that.
Okay, so I just wanted to explore, because if I remember correctly, even though Chief is more wild, is he more like extroverted and social than Saturday?
In a lot of ways, yeah.
Yeah.
He's curious, and when he feels comfortable with you, he actually has a very playful side.
Yes. And I've witnessed that. And so I think to him, like, oh, picking up my feet is like a fun, weird game that I play with the human.
Yes.
And Saturday's probably like, I don't really need to play any fun, weird games with you, actually. That's not my speed. Like,
and you know, Saturday is not my Mustang. She's a girlfriend of mine's, and she will spend her entire life with us, but she belongs to somebody else. And when we first rescued her from the feedlot with her baby, her owner took her to this person who, you know, does some really nice things with Mustangs. He's actually taken several of them successfully through Tevis Cup, which is a 100-mile endurance ride here in California. and has completed. And I actually think 3 or 4 years ago he won. So he knows what he's doing, but he has a different approach. So he will squeeze a Mustang and force a halter on and force them to get their feet done. There's a lot of forcing, where Laura and I are more of, we give the horse a voice, we give them a choice. We believe in trust, connection, and communication. And so then from there, she went temporarily to a place in Southern California. A female veterinarian wanted Mustangs, so she took the mother and the baby. And she kept their halter and lead rope on them.
That's common.
For 5 months.
Yeah.
In not a small pen, but all through winter. And so then she told my friend to come back and get them, that they were too wild. So then she picked them up and they came here. And so Saturday has had things done. She's been halter started, she's been trailered, she's been taught to lead, she's had her feet done. And in my opinion, I call it in a way of being raped. Oh. She had no way, she had no voice, she had no choice, she was forced. And so it's not good information. So that's why I think she won't let me pick up her feet. And then Mr. Goober Chief, he likes it. Have you seen, Laura, those horns that are starting to grow out of horses? My farrier is seeing a lot of it in these last 3 or 4 years. I don't know if you guys are seeing
the ergo or the ergot?
I don't know what is right at the bulb, and there's all of my horses are starting to get them where they have never had them. All of them.
I've always been under the impression that it's a genetic thing where either you have them or you don't. So that is very weird.
Yeah, no, I would say Rocky, my Gypsy Vanner quarter horse, has them.
Which I think the draft breeds are more likely to have them. Like, that doesn't surprise me.
I have Gino, my Tennessee Walker, no. I have, the rest are my Mustangs, so I have 9 Mustangs, and I would say 75% of them have them. And Chief
had them.
Chief has dual ones, but what he'll do, he literally lets me twist those until they come off.
Weird.
Until they break off. Even his hind ones. So anyway, that's a little bit of history about these two. So I've had them in 2 acres until Chief has gotten laminitis, and I needed to bring him up to my training area to get him off of the hill he was on and off of the rocks and control his diet more, because Saturday is a hard keeper. So she's super hard to keep weight on. And Chief is an easy keeper and alpha. So he pushes her off of everything. So I had to bring them up here to try and save him. And so we caught them up this weekend and brought them up. And they're doing really, really well. They're right behind my house in a round pen connected to a square pen with a shelter. And so I brought them up on Sunday. Today is Saturday. So today is Wednesday. So they've been here 4 days, going on 5. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 4 days. Yep. And so I haven't started the gentling process. So with Mustangs, what the more successful way, in my opinion, to set a Mustang up for a happy life with humans is to first gentle them, which is the process of creating trust, connection, and communication, and building the relationship, right? And then as we grow that, then I get permission to touch them, to have different things. I don't bring halters or lead ropes into the picture. I bring what we call training string, which is connected to the training stick. It's a 1/4-inch string that's 6 feet long. That's the first halter that any horse, whether it's a baby or a Mustang, wears on their face. So it's a process, and that's called gentling. And then by the time you start training, they're ready. They're like totally signed off. So that's kind of what I'm doing with these guys. And we're in that, just letting them settle in their environment and get used to where they're at. And in the meanwhile, I'm on a never-ending journey of personal development and growth, trying to become the best I can be for horses and people and me. And I'm coming up against some challenges. I teach a woman's retreat that I started in 2017 after I had a triple brain bleed with my horse knocked me unconscious, and I had a triple brain bleed. And as I found my way back to connecting with him and surviving that and reflecting on life, I discovered these parts within, I believe, all of us. There's the yin and the yang. The yin, and yes, it's yang, not yang. The yin and the yang. The yin is the feminine energy, and the yang is the masculine energy. And we all have it, male or female. The feminine is intuitive and compassionate and caring and empathetic, and the yang is the yin is the being, the grounded. The yang is the doer, the problem solver, the protector, the mama bear, the gonna get it done. Don't push me, you know. And so in that process back in 2017, as I was healing, I started becoming aware of both those aspects and realized that because of my life journey, I was more yang, I was more masculine, and it was time to awaken the feminine. And I created a workshop for women called The Goddess Warrior Within. And it was pretty powerful, and it was life-changing. I live it as I teach it. And so we're 8 years down the road, and for 8 years, I've been working on the feminine. But the masculine has still been very present and very gonna make it happen, gonna make this dream happen, gonna make the business grow, gonna, right? And the feminine's like, can we just be and let it come to us? And, you know, so there's quite honestly been an inner war. Can you relate to any of this, Laura?
Yes. Both MJ and I will snap into that yawn energy whenever we're in resistance to something very quickly, and we both have it very strong. And when we do it in opposition to each other, something ugly is going to happen.
So isn't that beautiful that that's one of the yang, and we're going to transition yin, goddess, yang, warrior. So when Laura and MJ are resisting, they're both in their warrior.
Yeah.
And things kind of headbutt a little bit, right? Because the warrior is strong and dominant and confident and gonna take the lead and, you know, trust me, I got this.
Yes, yes.
And so as you said that, when we flow with our horses, and this might be something for all of us to play with, I bet when Laura, because she's a mom now, so her feminine, her goddess is really, really awakened. So I bet when Laura is in more goddess and MJ is in more warrior, they flow in rhythm beautifully, and vice versa. When MJ's more in that intuitive, feeling, empathetic, and Laura's more in that warrior of, we got to get the feet done, we got to get this done, we got to get the shelter and the diet and the da 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 da. You know, she's got her list. I bet they flow better. Ready to unlock true freedom with your horse? Join Unbridled Freedom, our private Facebook group for women on a spiritual journey in horsemanship. We don't fix our horses, we transform ourselves. This is your space to embrace challenges, celebrate victories, and deepen your bond with your horse. If you're ready to lead with wisdom, compassion, and inner peace, join us today. Let's dance with our horses as one. The link is in the show notes below.
Well, and it's really interesting because as you were talking, I'm thinking, like, has there been an instance when our warriors have flowed really well together? And I can think of two instances out on the trail, and one of them is when we had some motorcycles come up and head us off, and the horse behind us was this big 17-hand Frisian. We love him dearly, but he was pretty green on the trail, and I knew he wasn't going to be able to handle it. And so I was just like, MJ, you and I have to be the block between him and these motorcycles. We cannot let these motorcycles get between us and him. And in doing that, the motorcycle riders were super nice. They stopped. We pulled off the trail. They went by, and then now they had passed us. So now we're following them out. And I knew when they started up their engines again, they had stopped and pushed the bikes by us. That Mac might have struggled with that. And so I told MJ, we're going to chase the motorcycles and show Mac that there's nothing to be scared of. And she was so game, like fire-breathing dragon. And this poor kid couldn't get his kickstart to start. Oh, no. And MJ is like roaring down on top of him. And he's looking behind him like, oh my God, this horse is coming. And I knew she wasn't going to run him over. So I just started laughing. And that was that moment where, like, our powerful energy came together. It was like, we're going to protect our friend behind us. We just, boom. So it's all kind of in the, which direction is the energy flowing? And is it flowing together or in opposition of the goal? Because you can have the warriors together. You can have the feminine together. You can have the feminine supporting the masculine, or you can have
the headbutting
fighting. Yeah.
So that's a fun thing to kind of lick and chew on, right? Because there's times that I can think on the trail where, we both had to pull together our warrior, our courage and our strength and our team and go. And then there were other times where we had to be soft and relaxed and intuitive and following the feel more than the action. Those poor motorcycle people were probably like, we were nice. We pulled off the trail. We set up our bikes and now you're chasing
us. Yes. They were young kids. It was funny. I was like, I'm so sorry. She got a little excited.
That's funny. That's funny. So that it would be really fun to explore the goddess warrior in you and in your horse. And, we talk about the three awarenesses: self-awareness, horse awareness, environment awareness. How do your goddess warrior energy, how does it show up in day-to-day stuff, at work, at the grocery store, with your family, with your friends, with your horse? Are you more one than the other? Back in 2017, when I started exploring it, the goddess part of it was a little bit like, because I've been a tomboy all my life. So, yes, I can be feminine and sensual and I can dress up and look like a girl, but I don't like I mean, not that I don't look like a girl, but frilly, makeup,
Yeah.
high heel shoes, none of that is me, you know? So fast forward to where we are now. I am at a place where I'm trying to bring balance and rhythm and harmony within myself. When does the goddess show up? When does the warrior show up? How is it showing? How are they showing up? Are they showing up with confidence and grace, and love, or coming from a place of fear? Because either one can come from either place, right? And when we show up, and that's fun. This is all on the fly, guys. Because when I think about that, I think about the parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Okay. So when I'm in my parasympathetic and I'm calm and I'm breathing and I'm grounded, I'm present and I'm responsive. I'm thinking clearly. My entire body's being fully oxygenated. When I'm in my sympathetic nervous system, I'm in that fight or flight. I'm taking shorter breaths. I have more tension in my body. I'm more reactive.
It's like the worst version of you or the best version of you shows up depending on where you're at in that, and that can be from a yin or a yang perspective. For me, my yin shrinks and disappears and goes away.
Oh.
And my yang will fucking bite you.
Huh. I wonder if Sophie's showing any of that yet.
Oh my God.
Sophie's Laura's little, probably 13-month-old now.
Yeah, my dad says she has the devil of you and the smarts of her father, and you're in trouble.
So we're going to go back to Chief and Saturday. Yesterday was the first day that I really went out and tried to do a little bit of the gentling process with them. And the flies are bad. I thought we were going to not have a bad fly year, but this heat, whew, flies are bad here. So Saturday will let me put fly spray on one of those. I got it at the dollar store. It's an exfoliator glove.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're $1. I think it was a package of 2. And the reason I got it was because I had put some SWAT on her armpits a couple years ago, and she had a severe reaction. And Laura has this amazing salve that she makes for her family, and she sent it to me, and I had to scrub the scabbing off of Saturday's armpits and then apply that salve. And I didn't have a lot of chances at that. So I got that exfoliating glove and Novosan soaked water and it scrubbed it off. And then I had another bucket with another clean one and I rinsed it off and then I applied the salve. So if you guys don't have those mittens, they're a great thing to go get. So now what I do with them is I spray fly spray on them. And then I can rub Saturday all over her body with fly spray. Chief, not so much. So this morning, while I was thinking about the goddess warrior within me and right now the warrior, with everything that's going on in my personal life, the warrior is on full alert and is not wanting to step aside and try a different approach at this particular chapter in our life, which is calling for the goddess warrior to come in with softness and open and receptivity. And the warrior is like, no, that's not how we do. We got to get this done. This is serious. We got to plow through this. We have no time for goddess warrior woo-woo stuff. And so That's that fight I'm having inside of me. And I started thinking about what I saw yesterday with Chief and Saturday. Saturday is curious. She's open. She's engaging. She's soft with me. She's got a softness in her eyes. She's got a blink when we do things. She's receptive to whatever I'm trying. She still lets me know, like I played with that string I talked about, and I was able to, she saw it coming and she was like, oh no. And she politely walked away, like, no, thank you. And then she would turn and face me and let me come back, and I got to rubbing her body, and she would walk away politely when that was enough and stop and blink, and then she'd come back and she'd touch the rope on my hand, and I loop it through my fingers so it dangles down. So then I pet them on their body and pet them on their nose so they can feel it without it like trapping them. And so Chief watched everything we did. And there were several moments where Saturday took nice deep breaths and licked and chewed, you know, all the things, had her head low below her withers, all the things that tells me she's in that parasympathetic, grounded, aware, totally aware, but not guarded. And so
willingly with you in the process.
I didn't hear you.
That she was willingly with you in the process.
Yes. And she knew she had an out at any time she needed it. So when I would approach Chief, he would immediately be tense in his body. And he would take the stance with his sore little feet. He would take the stance of, I'm either going to freeze or I'm going to flee. And I'm going to have to freeze because my feet hurt too bad to flee. And so that's creating a vulnerability in him already. So when I saw that in him yesterday, I paused and asked myself, is this fair? Is this fair to do this to this horse when he's already feeling under the weather, which makes him feel more vulnerable? And then there was the predator thought of, ooh, we could get a lot of shit done.
Yeah, it's going to be easier because he can't run away.
Yeah, he can't run as fast. And then followed up with, that's not what we're all about. That's not who I am. That's not what I teach. It's not what I believe in. So I sat with Chief for a little while, just standing side by side. I had the rope in my hand. And I asked him, are you okay if we just explore this together? And you tell me when it's too much. And you don't have to move your sore feet to tell me. All you have to do is just gently sway away from me. And I'm going to back off. You don't need to back off. I will back off. And we just stood. And we just breathed. And pretty soon he started to lower his head and he started to relax. And then he would let me touch him with the rope in my hand. And the minute that I pushed the envelope and he started to sway away from me, then I would back away from him and just let him lean into me. Let him breathe, let him lick, let him blink. But what I noticed in him was more of that warrior energy. deeper than the vulnerability that we knew he had, because we passed that threshold. I proved to him that he was in charge. He had the voice, he had the choice. We had an agreement. So we got through that top layer. And then I felt the warrior in him. And it was more like a shield that protected him. And it was more of a closed feeling. You know, I mean, I literally visualized medieval times, the guards standing in front of the gates of the castle. He felt like that. And I was like, wow. These two horses are showing me the goddess and the warrior within me. Mm. And so I played a little bit with trying to breathe into being present and grounded and open and soft and receptive when I approached Saturday. And I was able to get the string, I call it the training string, over her neck and reach under her throat latch, like I was putting a halter on her, and then moving that rope back and forth so she could feel it on her neck, and got it up by her throat latch and started to kind of move it towards her nose. And that was all she could handle. She needed to move her feet for that. And then when I approached Chief, I was more of that strong and confident feeling of a leader, of a fair and firm and confident leader, matching. And it wasn't even matching, Laura, it was respecting that powerful warrior energy that he has. And he's a paint. He's a bay paint, and he has a mane that goes probably, his mane in some sections is probably over a foot long. And so he's just stunning.
Mm-hmm. He is.
And when I would approach him, I would approach him with like great honor and great respect. Like I was coming to a warrior that, you know, how can I tend to your needs as this great warrior? I was able to rub his shoulder and his neck with the rope and with the string and my hand. And I was able to even make a loop and put it over his muzzle like the lower part of a halter would be. And he just stood there. And then he would tilt his weight back, and then I'd let it slide off, and then he'd chew on it and nibble on it. And so I just wanted to share that with all of you guys, because horses make us feel really good. That's why we're with them. But do we ever stop and reflect, why do they make us feel so good? What are they mirroring to us? What quality are they mirroring to us that they're actually tapping into with inside of us? Like with Saturday, she's wise and she's present and she's compassionate. She is taking such good care of Chief right now. She stands over him every time he lays down to get off those feet. She is standing over him. She takes their hay pillows to him. It's the sweetest thing. I've not ever seen her so nurturing. And those are all aspects of my goddess. You know, I've been taking care of animals my entire life, as a vet tech my entire adult life, you know? And so can you look at your horses and think about, what is it about this horse that I love that makes me feel so good? And when you can identify, you know, like Chief is a goober. He is as much a goober as he is a warrior. You know, he's a jokester. He loves to initiate it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I am that. I can be a little shit disturber. I can be a goober. I can be that warrior at that gate. And nobody is coming into this castle, period. So can you look at your horses and think of the qualities? Like Laura, what qualities does MJ mirror to you?
Let's pause for a moment. Have you ever looked at your horse and wondered if they're thriving in your care? Is there more you can do to give them the best life possible? Most ranches and boarding facilities are set up for convenience, not horse health, but there's tons you can do to fix your horse's situation if you're willing to get creative. Join Evidence-Based Horsekeeping, my Facebook group where members learn how to improve the mental and physical well-being of their horses. The link is in the show notes. I mean, she's strong and she's powerful and she's wise and she's so damn intuitive. Oh my God. It's ridiculous. And, you know, it's just like the more we can see the gifts in our horse, the more we can notice them in ourselves.
Wow.
And it's all this like deepening of becoming the most youest version of you. And then when you show up as that with your horses, suddenly you are the best version of you that you can be for them. And it's just a swirling ball that grows and gets better and better and better with time.
And when Laura described MJ, to me, she was describing herself. And it's like, if you don't, like you identify those things in your horse, and the part for me, when I hear Laura say she's strong and she's wise and she's intuitive, you know, I wonder how much Laura recognizes her own intuitive abilities. And when you identify something about your horse that you really admire, that you really are like, wow, this is so cool. This is why my horse is the best horse in the world.
Yeah.
Then if you can identify why and say, if my horse were a mirror of me, do I see that in me? And can I allow that to be in her presence or in his presence? And horses are so amazing at immediate, honest feedback.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to go, oh my God, hello. You know, they're going to gobble you up with their excitement and
Yes.
open and soft and receptive, the little goddess in them. And then you play with that, and then you take it out into other areas of your life.
Yeah.
And that's how our horses bring out our true, authentic selves. They will also mirror our shit. Don't get me wrong. They will
Absolutely.
Oh, Laura looks like she's got an example there.
Yeah, it's like MJ and I are in a discussion about her feet right now. Like, I got way too focused on the perfect trim and was making her stand around for 2 hours while I futzed and focused. And she's like, F off. I don't want to give you my feet. You figure out how to do this in 20 minutes, you get the heck out of here because I am not going to be your guinea pig that I stand around for 2 hours every 6 weeks. And I'm having to completely restart the conversation of foot handling. As a freaking professional foot handler, my horse is my worst customer right now.
Which is so amazing, my friend.
Like,
Because when you were 7, 8 months pregnant, ready to burst,
she was putting her foot up on the stand and
laying
standing
down
like an
on
angel.
her
Yes,
side,
yes.
and you are filing and doing her hoofs with her snoozing in the sun. So that right there is a beautiful example, everybody, of how our horses will give us immediate feedback when we will call that a little hyper focused and out of balance.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And she's like, no, we're not doing this. I'm going to bite you. I'm going to kick you. I'm going to just stomp my foot into the ground and not put it back up. Like, you think of a trick that a horse has to not want you to have their foot, MJ is doing it. And I'm like, okay, so what am I doing? I'm videoing it and I'm making a course on hoof handling. Like, it's coming, guys.
So did your warrior kind of show up like, oh, hell no, you're better than this. You know
Yes,
how to do this. You're
absolutely.
getting this
Yes.
done. I do so much for you. You need to show up and help me get this done.
You are going to give me your goddamn foot right now. And she's like, yeah, I'll give you the foot. And then I'll take it right back away because I have a warrior too. So watch me.
Whereas when she was so full with baby in her belly and in her total goddess yin energy, MJ lies down and takes a sunshine bath, snoozing while Laura is doing
your
her
feet.
feet.
Yes, yes.
That's how amazing horses are, everybody. That's why I partner with them for life coaching. And they're my coaches. They truly are. I mean, there's times that I got to reach out to Laura and go,
No.
and she'll go, well, have you thought that maybe your horse is trying to say X, Y, and Z? Like, no, you don't know them. So we do have our resistance.
But like, just what if we looked at our horse's behavior? You know, we've talked so much about behavior as communication, and yes, there's always a chance that it's physical, there's something going on, but their behavior is it's an invitation to us to look within every single time.
Can you
Like,
repeat that?
their behavior is an invitation to us to look within ourselves every single time. I am at a new barn and it has been a holy heckin' my warrior self was needed to keep us here. But anyway, this woman tried to usurp us from our spot at the barn. So I don't really care about talking mean about her on the podcast because she's never going to hear it anyway. And if she does, I don't care. But anyway, she came and I knew her trimmer because we know each other in the area. We're friends. Hadn't seen her in a while, was excited to see her, went up, had just introduced myself to this woman. And then her trimmer showed up and I knew the woman. So I hung out and chatted and was talking. And this lady was just calling her horse a big stupid oaf through the entire trim. Oh, stop doing that. You're such a turd. Da, 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 just nagging on him the whole time. And I'm like, you're ignoring him. You're talking to us. He wants your attention. Every time you ignore him, he does something to get your attention back, which was taking his foot away from the trimmer. And you call him a big stupid idiot. Who's the big stupid idiot here? He's running the show. Like, and it was just such like oh my gosh. I kind of just backed off on the, oh, let's go riding together and all that stuff. It was like, oh, have a nice day. See you later. Because it's just so unaware of her horse calling her to the table right there in front of everybody. Be a little present with me, or I'm going to be a booger. This will all make sense later, but if she'd been a little more present with her situation, she would not have had to try to fight me out of my barn. It's all related. And we're not perfect. Like, I was on a Zoom call with my instructor in the UK when MJ kicked me. And I said bad words directed right at her. You little shit. How dare you do that? Who the hell do you think you are? And then we stepped off camera and we did some aggressive groundwork that did nothing. And I wish I had not done. But then I have unpacked that since then and learned from it and am moving forward in a more empowered. The goddess and the warrior are coming together to make me a better person and have me approach this situation better.
And I love that, because hearing you talk about that, because I know you, and you are, when you think of the goddess warrior within us, and you can't see me, but Laura can, it's the infinity sign. It's that flow, right? And so Laura got into her warrior doing because she was with her instructor in the UK, for crying out loud, right? And
I had 1 hour to get as much instruction as I could get, and I wanted my horse to pick up her damn foot so that I didn't get instruction on how to pick up a horse's foot.
And Laura is not a person who does things halfway. She commits to doing it, and she commits to doing it very well. Again, that's the warrior energy, right? And so in that moment, she was too warrior.
Mm-hmm.
And MJ needed some goddess in there. And I love that you shared that story, because it's making me think of Chief and Saturday in there are giving me that goddess and that warrior, and I'm watching the goddess nurturing the warrior. And how can I take your story and take what I'm learning from them and where I'm at now? And I don't know if everybody, but I think a lot of us get into that black or white, either or.
Yeah.
And how can we dance that infinity rhythm of flowing into the goddess when needed and into the warrior when needed, and not getting stuck in either or?
And it's really bringing up, like, the horsemanship world has put us, is heavily masculine warrior energy. Don't let him get away with that. You got to end on a good note. Dominance theory is the unhealed warrior.
The unhealed warrior is key.
And a lot of us are really, really, really programmed to turn to the unhealed warrior when our horse is doing something we don't want to. That gut reaction that I had of, she just kicked me, you're going to fly backwards on the end of this lead rope and I'm going to bonk you in the nose if you don't. See you 80 feet down the line when I decide I'm done with you. That's total unhealed warrior. It's unnecessary. Like, I can stop and look my horse in the eye and say, unacceptable. And she knows exactly what I'm saying and will respond to it.
Because your energy.
Because of my energy. Like, I don't need to have an over-the-top reaction. And I did anyway, because my unhealed warrior showed up, and lots of horsemanship teaching is based on go to the unhealed warrior. And we have to recognize our gut reactions and our programming in that and realize where we can walk it back.
And recognizing that it's so programmed that it's a muscle memory. Mm-hmm. Just like, when we're riding and we're learning that emergency, you slide your hands down the rein, bend the nose to a circle to stop. a lot of horsemanship is muscle memory, right? Because then when that shit hits the fan, we go muscle memory. We don't have to stop and think about it. So that that wounded warrior or is deeply ingrained in us. But the path that Laura and I are both on, and we're recognizing that there's more and more joining this path, the paradigm shift within the horse industry of being more balanced in the goddess and the warrior. And I would have to say, as we're going through this shift, which is normal, if you look at things as a pendulum or a scale, the old timey scales that had the two things hanging, the two little trays hanging, and you put something in one and it weighs way down, and then you have to put something in the other to equal it out and get balance. Well, that's kind of what change does. So when we decide that this isn't really the best way, there's a better way, we often swing way too far to the other side. So in this paradigm shift that's happening right now, that's been way too warrior for too long, there's a lot of us wanting to bring in the goddess. Also, the one that's coming to my mind, and it's not bad, it's just a lot of us can relate to it, is the positive reinforcement training. That's way goddess. And we need that. We need to go way over here to such a dramatic change. Horses are our partners. Horses are sentient beings. Horses are healers and teachers. We have to go way over to this goddess paradigm, this goddess area to help that paradigm shift that's happening. And then as it's happening more and more, we're finding that happy medium. But I am seeing more and more on Facebook, and I'm sure you are too, Laura, a lot of professionals, and not just female, more female than male, but there's some males out there that were very warrior, who are now beginning to bring in that yin energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And say, hey, these horses deserve so much better.
Yeah.
And that calls on us to do that infinity dance within our own selves of our goddess warriors, and allow our horses to give us that immediate, honest, unfiltered feedback.
Yeah, and I want to touch a little bit more on the positive reinforcement and the sliding way to yin. If you're feeling called to explore that.
Yes.
Like, I swung really heavy that way when I was pregnant with MJ, and when she was healing and I was healing, and reached a point where she was walking all over me and realized I needed to swing back and find a happy medium. But now I have, I'm gaining more and more confidence in exactly where I've landed, and I'm way more on the goddess side than where I began with her. I began very traditional, national horsemanship, pressure and release. You give it to me now, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going to snap it hard until you get it. And it never felt good. I did this slow, 4-year slide and ended up way on the other side, and getting way on the other side is what helped me find my way back. So you're not going to ruin your horse if you go and you explore and then you come back. I use a fairly even balance of positive and negative reinforcement with MJ.
Me too.
And it's really I recorded a video on it today. When I lose her brain, when I'm working on her feet, she just doesn't want to be there anymore. Love giving her a cookie when she tries to come back to me, because it'll bring her back to me faster. If she threatens to kick me, then we're going to work on picking that foot up and putting it back down, and picking it up and putting it back down until it goes nice and smooth with no kicking, and there's no cookies involved in that at all, because no, ma'am.
Right.
And you're going to find where on the pendulum works for you, but you're never going to find it if you don't give yourself permission to explore it.
Absolutely. I hope that this conversation is thought-provoking enough for all of you to ponder, explore. 2017, it was very important for me. And I had plenty of time to think about it because my clock had been rung really, really hard and took me several months before I could get near my horses again, which is interesting. The universe has given me 2017, 2019, 2022, where I was forced to be sidelined and could not be near my horses. I could look at them out the window, but I could not get in an enclosure with them, which was, an interesting process, but life-changing. So I hope that you guys can explore this a little bit if it resonates with you.
Start by noticing which side is showing up, goddess or warrior, and then ask, is this wounded or healed goddess or warrior?
Yeah, I like that.
And just invite yourself into the healed version. See what happens.
And be curious, not judgmental.
Absolutely. This is
know,
all an exploratory mission with no rights or wrong.
Give yourself as much grace as you give your horses when they're learning something new. That's really an important thing, is your horses are so forgiving and they are in your court. So when you hit that spot that feels so foreign to you, but is really more authentically who you are, they will give you amazing immediate feedback. You don't even have to question. You got it right. When we have that balance within ourselves, we have inner peace and we have joy and we have happiness, and we're open to being playful and curious and engaging. All of those things are qualities that draw me to horses in the first place, because they are all of those things. So allow your horse to be a mirror for you and share it with us. We'd love to hear. So if you have any questions about the topics covered in this episode, send us a message on our Facebook page, Holistic Horsemanship and Husbandry, and we will answer your question in a post on our page. You will be anonymous. We'll just take the question and provide our input, and we want to do it on the post so that we can all learn and grow together, because nobody knows everything. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. We want to remind you that we'll be here every second and fourth Tuesday of the month, following the golden rule. Have a plan, but always be willing to be flexible. Don't forget to connect with us using the links in the show notes below.
If you learned something new today, had an aha, or walked away with a valuable nugget, you can say thanks by leaving us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening on.